This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Bloody happy hour here. Turn up. Nope. Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
It is officially summer for me, and it's been summer since January
for me.
Caroline.
So great. I love my life.
So we are recording early. Like, there's the clouds. It's brunch.
Yeah, but it's basically like the crack of dawn right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have my Spark and my water because I didn't have time to do anything. So I have a story.
Where are we going?
Unless there's anything else. We are going to California.
Okay.
Okay. And
I did go to California this week.
Uh-huh. Just now?
With Sherry Papini.
Oh, did you watch it?
I accidentally watched the wrong one. I was like, where is she? I'm waiting for her to talk, and I'm waiting for her lawyer to come on with her vape and her tattoos and all the things, because that's what somebody sent me. Something. They're like, go watch it, because I guess the person she hired as her attorney, when they have her on camera, she's just like all tatted up and piercings, and
is she
has
really?
her like vape on the table or whatever.
Mm-mm.
And Sherry Papini's talking about this. It's not that she really was kidnapped
By boyfriend, right?
I guess. But I watched the wrong one, so I don't know.
So my mother-in-law was watching it the other day, but I left because I didn't want to, I want to watch it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Maybe, if I want to waste energy on there. I have 2 more episodes on the show I've been binging. No way.
Yes, that's her attorney.
Oh, that's the attorney.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's probably going to come out lesbian next. She's dating her attorney.
And that her husband, remember when we first talked about this, I was like, her husband is like
soy boy
beta, just like cries at the drop of a dime or whatever. It's just... And he's the same way, but he's a little bit better. Well, I watched the wrong one, so never mind. I watched the old one. I'm pissed.
Okay, just joking. This story, so we're going to California, but anything about Brian Koberger?
Apparently it's still going.
And
forward.
It's going to be live stream? Somebody said? Okay.
Yeah.
We always knew that?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody texted me about it and was like, are you excited it's going to be live stream? And I was like, oh.
It's going to be 3 months.
Oh.
I'm on the jury for the can retrial right now. Can retrial. The retrial. And we're on week 8. So I guess 1 more month wouldn't, it's supposed to be over like next week, but we'll see.
Speaking of jury
there's
duty,
been a lot of days that are off, that they've had off or half days or whatever. But, yeah.
I have been summoned.
Yes.
In July. And I now they just send you something like a card and you go to something online and I guess see if they need you. So used to just show up anyways and then they would send you home. I do not like that because when you had to just show up, you'd see everybody who's going to court. You'd see the list of all the arrest warrants or people who are getting in debt. Like you would see so much just because you had to be there. Now you don't even have to be there. So I am just hoping that...
I hope you get it.
Yes. I need to quit the podcast before because they could use that against me.
I know.
Yeah. So this might be the last episode.
This could be the last episode.
For my jury duty's sake.
I mean, yeah, you have to do that. You have to take one for the team.
It's my
But you've been on a jury
civic
before.
duty. Yes.
And
That should help, right?
I think so. And
Experienced.
also, I want to know, because I've never been on a jury, I want to know when they say, don't talk about the case, don't try to avoid social media. If somebody approaches you about it, just ignore them. Is the first thing you do is go and research it online or not?
No, I was scared too. But we were in Waco. My case wasn't going to be like a big, humongous case, right?
Yeah.
It
But
was
still, like if it was a big case, you'd be like, do you talk to your husband? Like, do you talk to anybody about it?
You would.
I think I would try to follow the rules.
You would go crazy.
I don't know what I would do. I would not be able to be on my phone. But they wouldn't pick me because they know
Because you wouldn't be able to not have your phone even like during the selection process. And then they'll be like, she's not going to be able to
if I could have a coloring book, I'd be fine. I just need to keep busy doing something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so this story is remember that month we did when we used to do categories and we did a WTF month?
Mm-hmm.
WTF happened to Jelani Day, Alonzo Brooks, Ellen Greenberg. Oh. So this is a story like that, meaning there is no finish. There's no answers at the end. It is those missing person cases that piss Caroline off. But they have to be told because somebody may know something.
That's true. I get it.
And this one is just, it seems like a simple case, but it's really, really, really not. So let's go to California, and we're going to talk about the story of Bryce Laspisa.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So stumbled on this case. I don't even remember how. I think I was listening to...
I think they might have come up with new evidence at some point or something, and then it just came back in the news. I don't know.
Ongoing. There's a whole Facebook page dedicated to this. So 19-year-old Bryce Laspisa, he's 19 years old when this story happens. And he's the only child of Mike and Karen Laspisa. And they're coming from Springfield, Illinois. Simpsons. In 2012, Mike and Karen got to retire early. So they purchased a big, beautiful home in California in a place called Laguna Niguel. And at this same time, Bryce was graduating high school. So a whole new chapter in all their life. You got retirement, you got a new home, Bryce graduating high school. So now they're all going to California together, and Bryce is going to start college. So he finds a community college. So he's going to be more of a non-traditional, well, still traditional, but he's going to a community college instead of like a 4-year. And then he planned to transfer to a 4-year university later on. So he goes to Sierra Community College in Rocklin, California. That may mean a whole lot to you California listeners. That means not much to us here in Waco, Texas. But this college is 7 hours away from where his parents bought the house, which is really weird because community college is supposed to be close, local, and convenient. I went to McLennan Community College, which is right down the road, so I could still live at home. However, he chose to go 7 hours away, and he's studying graphic design. His first year, he went great. He got good grades. He made friends. He had a great roommate named Sean Dixon. And he even got him a novia named Kim, a little girlfriend.
Oh.
He was tall. He was slender. He was good looking. He was a redhead.
Oh,
which is
here
why
we go.
the story needs to be told.
Story. Yep.
Needs to be told. He was charming. He was easygoing. And he was the only child. I say that because it's a big deal when you got a missing kid, but it's a really big deal when it's your only child. Now, the summer after his first year, he was at home, and he told his parents that he was really excited to go back to school for a second year. And he actually left about 2 weeks before classes were starting, just to kind of get there, get back to his apartment, get ready for classes. Oh, screen shifted. He reunited with all his friends, and he reunited with his girlfriends. But his roommate, Sean, and his girlfriend, Kim, noticed that there was a change in him. He was more withdrawn, he was a little erratic, and he was depressed. And he was taking Vyvanse. He reunited, but they said that he was just depressed. He was withdrawn. He was taking Vyvanse but, a lot of college kids take Vyvanse.
Mm-hmm.
They also said he was drinking a whole lot, and a lot of college kids drink a whole lot. But he was taking Vyvanse so that he could stay up, not to get, work done, to play video games. So not a reason I would take Vyvanse, or a typical person would take Vyvanse. And they also said that he was drinking hard liquor daily, and that he could go through 2/5 of a bottle, 2/5 of the hard liquor bottles, in a weekend by himself, just drinking it. So I feel like that's
In a weekend?
in a weekend.
Is a fifth a little smaller one?
I don't know. I don't know what a fifth is. Is there such thing as 25ths? Because I got a 2 and then I got a 5th.
Let me research it now and I'll get back to you.
In a weekend alone, which if that's a little smaller one, then that's not an issue, Bryce. They're maybe it is an issue. I don't know. So it had only been a couple weeks, and they noticed that he was not the same person. So August 27th was the first day of school for Bryce. And after all his classes, he called his mom and he said his classes went great. It's going to be a great year. Later that day, though, he broke up with his girlfriend, Kim, and he told her, "You'll be better off without me." Randomly. And he was so excited to get back to his girlfriend. On the 28th, so this is the next day, Sean, his roommate, called Bryce's mom, Karen, to tell her that he was worried about Bryce, that he's not acting normal. It was also said that he had been up for multiple days at this time because of the Vyvanse. So he wasn't just taking one a day. He was taking them ongoingly to where he was just up on a total high. I didn't even know Vyvanse could do that.
I don't either. Maybe he was just snorting it or something.
I didn't even know you do that, but I saw that on one of my shows the other day.
Yeah. Or if you have a capsule, you can take out the things and just eat the beads.
Oh, I just gave you a capsule.
I know.
And that's what you had to do. I guess you're not swallowing the plastic.
Maybe if you're an anti-plastic.
Oh, and then it just dissolves on your
I guess I feel like it would just hit you faster. I don't know.
Oh, I'm scared. So later that night.
Well, I don't do that, but I've seen it done.
So
I've heard of it, whatever.
He had been up for multiple days. Now later that night, Bryce called his mom, Karen.
He on coke, whatever.
And he was at Kim's house, his girlfriend's house. So he broke up with her, but then later he went over there. And
what is he depressed about?
I don't know. And that's going to be the whole question at the end. She was concerned enough about his behavior, Kim, that she had took his keys away and did not want him to leave.
Okay, it sounds like he has just psychological stuff,
break.
but I don't know what triggered it.
We've done a lot of stories to where drugs have triggered.
Yeah, so maybe it's something. Well, they do say that Adderall or Vyvanse or whatever can give you anxiety. It can bring on the symptoms of depression and stuff, just because it's I don't know. It's a stimulant, but it can make you feel anxious.
Also, when
if you don't need to take it, I guess.
Okay. And also when you come down, so if he was stopped taking it, maybe the come down of all that. Mm-hmm. And we'll kind of talk about that afterwards too. So, or at the end, because there's going to be a bunch of what could have happened. So girlfriend took his keys away because he was not acting normal. She was so concerned about his behavior was erratic that she did not believe that he was in a condition to drive. And he told his mom that they had been arguing. So Karen got on the phone with the girlfriend, and Karen, this is the mom, convinced girlfriend to give Bryce back his keys. And she was thinking, I have to think that Bryce was like, okay, they're arguing. I need him to get out of there because I don't want it to go too far because the guy is going to always be the aggressor. Like, I don't want him to fight and then get arrested because they're fighting and it goes too far. So she convinced girlfriend to give him the keys so that he can go, okay? But he lives 90 minutes away. Girlfriend hasn't shown back up maybe to college. She's 90 minutes away from his apartment, and girlfriend just said he has no condition to drive.
Yeah.
But mom convinces her to give him the keys. So he leaves. Now, Karen, the mom, offered to fly in immediately, like get on a quick flight to come in and check on him. And he was like, no, do not come. I have a lot to talk to you about, he said. We'll talk tomorrow, because he had planned on calling her and then he was coming home for a visit. So at 1 a.m. on August 29th, Bryce called his mother once more. So this is the same night he had been arguing. He was there about 11:30. He left Kim's apartment at 11:30. At 1 a.m., he called his mom once more, and she assumed that he was home and calling from his apartment. But phone records later show that he was calling from a location about an hour south of where he was supposed to go. So like in the opposite way of him supposed to be going home. So he never went home. Then it's the next morning at 11 a.m. Her and her husband get a notification from their insurance company that Bryce had to use roadside assistance. Okay? So roadside assistance. So they called, he needed gas. So the owner of Castro Tire and Gas in a town of Buttonwillow, which is about 3 hours away from his parents' house. Okay?
3 hours.
Christian is the owner. He said that he delivered 3 gallons of gas to Bryce, that he had ran out of gas around 9 a.m. that morning on the side of the road. And Christian was so nice. He was like, you know what? Let me just go back to the spot where I went and helped him to make sure that to see if he's okay.
Yeah.
Okay? Because this was later on. Well, when he showed back up to that spot that he gave him gas at 9 a.m., he had discovered that Bryce was still there in the same spot. He hadn't moved in hours. Christian approached him to tell him that his parents were worried and to call them. Okay? Now, Christian put Bryce on the phone, and they were like, Bryce, what are you doing? Why are you just sitting there on the side of the road for hours? And Bryce was like, nothing. And they were like, okay, just go to the store, finish filling up your tank, and come home. By this time, it's noon. So he had been on the side of the road since 9 a.m. when Christian brought him gas. It is noon in the same spot in Buttonwillow.
Is he like playing video games in the car?
He's just sitting. He's just sitting there.
He's just sitting.
So they were like, come home, like to Niguel, to California, to whatever that place is called, where mom and dad are. It is 3 hours away. Okay. So Bryce agreed to make the 3-hour drive home, and that should put him there about 3:00 p.m. that day. So parents are just at home waiting on Bryce to show up. So then hours passed, and the Laspisas have not heard from Bryce. They called Christian tire shop guy back again. No answer. So then they decide they're going to call the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and they file a missing persons report because it's 6 p.m. So it's 3 hours after he should have even been home.
Yes.
So that's 6-ish hours later, and they've heard nothing from him. So the police track his cell phone quickly, and 2 officers were able to locate him just a few miles from where Christian, tire shop guy, had seen him in Button Willow. He was still parked on the side of the road in that spot. Now it's been 9 hours.
And he's still sitting in the car?
He's just sitting.
I could never.
It is not...
Goals.
The officers reported that he seemed lucid and he was friendly. He showed no signs of intoxication, nor any drugs or alcohol found in his vehicle. They even did a sobriety test. They asked him why he was there, and he said he was just blowing off some steam.
That's a lot of steam.
A lot of steam.
That's a lot of extra steam.
So the police told Bryce that his parents were worried, and he seemed hesitant to call them. So they dialed the number for him. And Karen told him, Mama told him, come home, Bryce. But she didn't push him on, like, what's wrong? Why have you been on the road for 9 hours? Like, she didn't try to, like, get any answers out of him. She was just like, just come home. Just come home. Just come home. So Bryce said nothing. To me, Mom and Dad, y'all could have been there hours ago. Y'all are 3 hours away. Like, y'all could have dropped, but y'all could have hopped in the car and met him on that side of the road. However, they did keep thinking he was coming, right? Because he's told them 3 times, okay, here I come. Okay, here I come. So if they left, they could have missed him. So I guess they were worried about that. But they've gotten shit talked about him for not doing more.
You could have had one stay and one go.
Yes.
And
it's 2012. You have to have you have tracking. Like, there's 360 or something.
Yeah.
Find my iPhone or something. So Bryce didn't say anything when he got on the phone. Police leave Bryce, and Bryce claims that he's on the way. Now, Christian finally decides to call the parents back, because remember, Christian tire guy, they were calling him first, couldn't get anything. So now he's calling them back. And so Christian was like, well, let me just go back over there and make sure he's gone. And he hangs up. And 15 minutes later, he calls the parents back. And Bryce is still there, sitting in his car that he had been in. And it has now been 14 freaking hours.
oh my gosh.
Bryce.
Is he scared of the parents? Like, why will he not go back?
That is the question. So Christian offers to follow Bryce and watch him.
I don't know why the police didn't do that.
The freeway. Yeah, police. And get on the freeway. So Bryce turns on his car. He gets on the freeway. By this point, Mike and Karen, so Mom and Dad, were relieved when Christian called and confirmed that he had got back on I-5 and was headed south towards home. But what Christian didn't know, and what Mom and Dad didn't know, is that he immediately exited off.
He wanted to get lost.
Now, Bryce and his parents exchanged some phone calls during this drive, just kind of checking in. And they ask him for landmarks. Okay, so what do you buy? Did you pass the Buc-ee's? Did you pass the whatever? And he doesn't give them landmarks. He's just like, I'm coming, I'm on my way, right? He doesn't give landmarks. And they said, well, what does the GPS say? And he says, well, the GPS says I'm supposed to be there at 3:25 a.m., which the math isn't mathing. So at 2:00 a.m., it's August 30th now. This whole situation started on like the 28th. At 2 a.m. on August 30th, Bryce called his mom one last time to tell her that he was too tired to drive anymore. You ain't been driving.
You've been sitting in your car for 24 hours.
A whole lot of naps. And that he was going to pull off on the road to take it to sleep, and that he will be there in the morning. And Mama Karen agreed.
No. Mama.
This is where she gets a lot of shit. Because I'm sorry, I don't think I want my son to take a nap on the side of the road. Like, let me get you a hotel.
Yeah.
Or let me call the police to do a well check. Or you'd already been at home because we would have come and got you. Yes, you'd have been at home in the bed. Or let me Uber, something. Like, there were just options and options and options. But maybe he was just not cooperating. When the doorbell rang 6 hours later, it wasn't their son that they found at their doorstep. It was California Highway Patrol officer. Bryce's car had been found overturned and abandoned near Castaic Lake at the end of a 25-foot embankment. The rear window had been shattered. His phone, his laptop, his wallet were all found inside. His duffel bag was open and outside of the car, but there was no trace of Bryce himself. This was only 1 hour away from Buttonwillow. So where he had sat for 14 plus hours, and when he drove, he had only drove 1 hour away. And so his car was found 1 hour away. Surveillance camera spots his car at 2:15 a.m. So remember, he called his mom at 2. So at 2:15 a.m., driving up this hill, and then it catches it going up the same hill again. So it goes up this hill, and then at some point it must have come down, and then it comes up this hill again at 4:29 a.m. So this is a long, windy road at the top of the hill, and if you look down, it looks like you'll drive right into a lake. Okay, so picture this long, and I think when I first did this story, we looked at the picture, and you can look it up. It's this long hill, because it's long and hilly and mountainy in California. This long hill, and then there's Castaic Lake right there. And if you drive down this hill fast enough, it looks like you can go over this embankment into the lake. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
And there's a lot of wrecks that happen there, and or suicides. So his car went up and down that hill 2 times, but 2 hours between each other. So he went up one time at 2:15 a.m. You didn't see it come back down, and then it went up the hill again at 4:29 a.m.
Wow.
His car was found 1 hour later. So if he would have stayed in his car, he would have been found quickly. So he must have wrecked.
Yeah. I'm like, where did he go?
They do a search and rescue looking for him. So divers dredged the Castaic Lake. I know. Drivers, like, they dove in the lake, and they found no trace of him. Police dogs tracked his scent, and they followed his scent across the bridge to a nearby truck stop.
Oh, that's right.
Where his trail went cold.
Oh, jeez.
Then police find out that the night he left, he sent his roommate a text message. The text message said, "I love you, bro. Seriously, you're the best person I've ever met. You saved my soul." Then he gave Sean his Xbox, a pair of diamond earrings that his mom gave him, like earrings for boys. And then he sent that same day. He sent the message to Kim saying, "You are better off without me." So this made the police obviously believe, when you give stuff away, right?
Yeah,
You're telling
you're-
people goodbye that it's suicide. So on September 4th, 2013, a body was found burning in that spot near Castatic Lake.
What?
And when they got the body and did the identification, it did not belong to Bryce Laspisa.
Oh, no.
But it was actually linked to an LA homicide. So they continued to search and search for 3 weeks. They even hired a sonar specialist because parts of that lake is over 300 feet deep. They did that for days and days and days, and they found nothing. So without a body, detectives were unable to close the case. And so there's been a number of theories out there to possibly explain Bryce's disappearance. So one theory is that he purposely left behind his phone, his wallet, to indicate that he wanted to abandon his old life for a new one under a new identity and live off the grid. Another theory is that it's possible that the drug and alcohol use provoked a psychotic break, and or the withdrawal from all the Vyvanse he was taking caused a sudden and severe depression, and he went to the truck stop and he got in the truck and left the area, and he's now probably living as a homeless person, totally unaware. I kind of like that one.
I do too.
Like it, but it sounds like that could be the most possible.
Yeah.
It's also possible that he did die on or around the night of August 30th and that his remains have just yet to be found. Was it suicide? And what was it that he had to talk to his mom about? Because remember, he was like, I have a lot to talk to you about. Why was he so reluctant to go home? Was it that bad? Some have speculated that maybe he was gay. Maybe he was confessing that he had an addiction. Maybe the drinking and the pill use led to suicide. And I was thinking, because we think of Chandler Halderson and the other girl that you did, like, lying about school and all these lies, like, catching up with him. And so he just wanted to commit suicide because all these lies were going to come out. But nothing has come out about lies catching up with him. It's also possible that this is a homicide because we know that there had to be a killer in the area because there was a burnt body just found a couple days later in that same area. And there had also been a skull that had been found in that area. So could a truck driver have picked him up, murdered him, and dumped him somewhere, anywhere? There's a lot of truck driver serial killers out there. And then some say that could it have been a drug deal gone bad because he had been arrested for a drug deal with marijuana in 2012.
Oh, hell.
With 20 to 30 grams.
It's legal now, so, well, there.
Especially, and yeah. Family thinks that he may have hit his head during the accident and he has amnesia. And that he is walking around not knowing where he's, like, who he is, where he's at, where to go.
I feel like he's living off the grid as a homeless person.
That could be, but his picture has been posted everywhere, like with nobody.
He probably grew out his hair.
Nobody.
And like facial hair and everything.
Redhead and freckle face?
Yeah.
Or did roommate and girlfriend do something with him?
I don't know. Were they at the truck stop?
They both teamed up. They both started saying the same story at the same time. That's another theory. So the key is like, what did he want to talk to his mother about? And that could answer a lot of questions. But
we'll never know because we don't know where he is.
No. There have been no further clues. His parents still issue missing person posters all the time. They remain hopeful. And there's a Facebook page dedicated to him and they receive a lot of grief because they were not more proactive during the days leading to his disappearance.
I mean, they didn't know he was going to disappear.
Oh, so that is the story of Bryce Laspisa.
Good story, I guess, even though we don't have an ending.
And how big is California? Think about all the homeless,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Skid Row
It's like the
places.
biggest. Oh, for sure. He's living his best
or
worst
all the
life.
desert and or mountain areas that a body could be. I don't know.
No telling.
And I didn't even look up the page to see if there was any updates, but I
I
feel
did.
like
There's no updates.
Okay. I feel like I friended the page a while back, so I would have seen an update.
Oh, I just looked up on
Like on the news.
on Google or
On
whatever.
Google.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
good
go.
story.
There you go. Okay. WTF.
WTF. If you have any information, let somebody know in California.
Yeah. And shout out to Christian with the tire shop.
Yeah,
and
he
gas.
was DTF.
He was DTF.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times. He probably needed gas to give him own self some gas as many times he had to drive back and forth to go check on little Bryce.
Yeah.
And kids, young people out there, nothing is ever too big. We can always tell. Your parents will always understand. And if they don't, somebody will. It's never worth. If this is a suicide, it's just never worth it.
But you don't think anybody will understand, and sometimes you don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Right? So
But
you definitely don't want to tell your parents.
yeah. But they will. Somebody will. And it's never that big. And if it is at that time, it won't be big for long.
Yeah.
It's only big for a minute. Only big for a minute. And usually those things make you better. Everybody needs a little dirt so that you can grow. So accept your dirt so that you can grow.
Get in the dirt.
Get in some dirt. All right, we'll see y'all next week for a whole new week of Bloody Happy Hour. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Goodbye, y'all.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.